Hello friends, I'm back with another tutorial for this very interesting stitch that you can use to make a blanket or anything else. I used this YarnBee Pearl Spun acrylic yarn, which is pretty good. Okay, I used a 5.5mm hook for this yarn because the yarn is a little thick, and I'm gonna chain multiple of 10s plus 2. So any number, 20, 30, 40, whatever it is you're making, plus 2. Once you finished with your chain, you are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And single crochet in every chain all the way to the end. Once you're done with that, you're going to chain 1 and single crochet in your very first stitch, or the same stitch as your chain 1. Then chain 1 again, and you're going to skip 4 stitches, and we're going to make a shell. A shell is double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet, chain 1, another one, chain 1, and one more, and chain 1. So altogether you're going to have 5 double crochets with the chain 1 after each one of them. Okay, now you're going to skip 4 stitches again, and you're just going to single crochet in that 5th chain. Okay, chain 1, skip 4 again, and make another shell. So remember, your shell is 5 double crochets and chain 1s. So double crochet, chain 1 5 times. Chain 1, and repeat the pattern. You skip 4, single crochet, chain 1, skip 4, and a shell, and just do that all the way to the end. Okay, for your next row we're going to change color, so that's why I'm going back here. Do not finish your last stitch. When you have 2 loops on the hook, that's when you add your new color. Just pull that through, and we are going to chain 4. That's row 3. So now we are going to make a cluster between those 2 first double crochets. So what you do is, it's 3 double crochet together. So you start a double crochet, you don't finish it, then you start another one, you pull through 2 loops, don't finish it, and do one more, pull through 2 loops, don't finish it. Once you have 4 loops on the hook, then you finish, and that's your cluster. Then you chain 2, you're going to single crochet in the next space, chain 1, single crochet again in the next space, chain 2, and you do a cluster again. So we are putting the clusters in the shell of the previous row, so in between the 2 double crochets. Okay, that's the cluster. Okay, so now we're going to start another one. Pull through 2 loops, don't finish. Another one, pull through 2 loops, not finished. Pull through 2 and through all 4, and now we chain 2, That's your pattern. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 2, and a cluster. So your pattern is just like I said, you do a cluster, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 2, and a cluster. And then you repeat that all the way till your last stitch, and you put a treble crochet in your last stitch, and this is your row 3. Row 4, we're going to chain 4 again, turn, and we are going to make half of the shell. So you're going to double crochet in that first stitch, chain 1, and double crochet in the same stitch again. Okay, so that's your half of the shell, and then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to put a single crochet in between 2 single crochets of the previous round. And then we're going to chain 1 again, and we're going to put the whole shell between the 2 clusters. So your shell is just like in the row 2, is 5 double crochets and chain once after. So basically now you're doing the same thing you did in row 2, except the stitches go in different places. Okay, so you finish the shell, chain 1, and then single crochet in that stitch in between 2 singles. Okay, chain 1, and you do that until the end of the row. You repeat that pattern, and then you have your turning chain. So into the turning chain you want to put another half of the shell. So you're going to double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet. And you are finished with the row 4, and you want to add your next color because you changing color every 2 rows. You can use just 2 colors, doesn't have to be 3, or you can make it all the same color. Okay, so your row 5, we are going to chain 1, turn, we're going to single crochet in the very first stitch, and chain 1 and single crochet into your next stitch. Okay, then you're going to chain 2, and you're going to make a cluster into that space between 2 double crochets of the shell from the previous round. Pull through 4 loops, done. And now you jumping again into the next shell, and you starting the pattern as you did in the row 3. So you're going to do a cluster, and you're going to chain 2, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 2, and another cluster. Basically, like I said, the same exact thing as your row 3. It just, the row starts out as a half cluster, but everything else, the pattern is exactly the same. Okay, so at the end of the row, you putting a cluster into the first space between the 2 double crochets of the shell. Okay, so your cluster is finished. You chain 2, and you are going to put a single crochet in the top of the turning chain, and another single crochet into the next chain of the turning chain. And that's row 5 is finished. Okay, for the row 6, you're going to chain 1 and single crochet into your first stitch, and chain 1 again, and we're going to put a full shell into your space between 2 clusters of the previous row. And so the shells are exactly the same. You are going to repeat your pattern. You're going to put shells into the space between the clusters and single crochets in between the single crochets of the previous rows. And at the end, you're gonna chain 1 after your last shell, and you're gonna put a single crochet in your last stitch of the row. And that's your pattern. You're gonna repeat rows 3 through 6, and you're going to have something like this. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, please comment, share, like, subscribe. Thank you.